Yo, check this out. SamIam and A.C. in your sight. That's what I'm talking about. We on the line tonight. Yeah. It must be Friday night, huh? Check it, right? Thought brokers on the air. It gotta be Friday night. You know A.C. and SamIam. Every take come tight. They come correct with the true crime. Cut through the hype. If you ain't tapped in yet, you behind on sight. They got the news, got the facts. Every angle they glean. Thought brokers breaking down true crime coats in between. Story veterans, seasoned voices sitting the scene. They've been cooking up these cases for a hot minute clean. If there was trophies for getting lit and still going live, they sweep the whole award show. Every medal, all five. Buzz brain, sharp tape, still the logic survive. They keep it honest, keep it raw, keep the madness alive. And it's not only news, it's the jokes that they choose. Words are hard. One-star strip clubs, they review the rules. Very passionate rundowns on them toys who get used. Amazon confessionals, pick a product and view. Alex murder, OJ headlines, Gypsy Rose in the file, twin flame scammers, Menendez on the case profile. People kidnapped, hoodwinked with a digital smile, scammed and straight up whack. It's in the docket on trial. They don't matter, the fatter that the storyline stack, the better payoff in the end when they're running it back. They break it down frame by frame, every detail intact. Never slack, never clock out, they stay on the attack. Let's act. SamIam and A.C. SamIam and A.C. That perspective is key. Perfect duo to make you look and actually see all the bad in the world, all the rot underneath. From the killers to the monsters living right down the street. They ain't stuck on pretty phrases, they don't dance round facts. Ain't too many extra fillers when they talk on the acts. They just lay it how it is, how these villains react. Bang, bang, case closed, bodies vanish on tracks. What about coats? They got that every chapter and song. From the quiet gated suburbs to the doctrines gone wrong. When the power and obsession run insanely strong, they call it twisted out, tell you why it's been wrong. So long. Somewhere out there is a system that keeps letting it slide. Whole towns look the other way, just protecting the pride. But the brokers pull receipts, bring the truth to the light. Name the patterns that repeat when the money's in sight. Probably best in the world at exposing the scheme. So sit down, let the feed roll. Welcome into the stream. One of the best boy-girl tag teams you ever have seen. Pulling threads on every case till the motives are clean. Words are hard, yeah, Sam, but you still land tough. Hard as hell, but you spin them when the topics are rough. Might laugh at the stumbles when the phrasing is scuffed, but the insight stays sharp and the research enough. Yeah, A.C., yo, where you at? Light the vibe, set the scene. Joints, blunts, gummies line, keep the stress off the screen. Beer, vodka, or some whiskey while they comb through the mean. Say it with me, pour it up, keep the conscience clean. Thought brokers, name ringing every feed that you see. SamIam and A.C. bring the oddities free. Thought brokers, where the thoughts and the brain waves agree. Thoughts and brain matter, that's the only real currency. Thought brokers bring the weirdest little crime to your door. From the headlines to the footnotes you ain't heard before. They entangle all the rumors, leave the truth at the core. Every Friday, different rabbit hole to fall and explore. Yeah. Thought brokers pick a platform, they already on it. From the phone in your hand to the screen where you want it. They lace a random fact, drop a gem, make you ponder upon it. Put a feather in your bonnet with the way that they flaunt it. And if you hate one-star strip club reviews they spit, then you ain't home, you off base. You ain't built for this wit, far from it. Wrong stomach for the jokes that they fit. They stay blunt, never filter, they just let that drip. Thought brokers, SamIam and A.C. on track. They don't censor for the comfort, they refuse to pull back. They don't always see it equal, they'll collide in the fact. But that tension be the engine keeping every show packed. Not just hanging out on Friday doing gummies and joints. They dissecting every angle, put a case in the point. Friday nights turn forensic and they sharpen the oinks. Every time stamp marked up with the clues in the joints. Thought brokers, hit the follow, like and share what you find. Drop a comment, hit subscribe, keep them front of your mind. Yo, SamIam A.C, let the storyline climb. Grip that mic, y'all. Thought brokers on time. Thought brokers on time. SamIam A.C, keep the truth in the rhyme. Friday night, tune in, let it sharpen your mind. Thought brokers sign off. Till the next deep dive. Grind. It right.
That's so fucking awesome.
I just realized that there was like a lot to discover every time you hear that song. There's like
I know.
extra words.
I hear more every time, and honestly, I fucking love it. It pumps me up. I am ready for the fucking show, man.
Oh yeah. How's your week? How's your day? I'm not gonna say how's your day. How's your week?
Busy as fuck.
Yeah. Heard that.
A lot going on in the property management world for me. So, yeah.
Hey, we are on. People texting me. We are on. Cool. We are on so many platforms. We
We
are
are.
in Twitch and Kick and God knows so many more. So thanks for joining us every week.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. Um, if you can help us out down in the, we just got a brand new channel, right? So we have our own brand new baby channel, but it doesn't let us go live on that channel until we have 50
Yeah, like
subscribers.
50. Yeah.
So please, hasn't gotten out to the masses yet. We haven't gone viral, which we're bound to do.
We're going
But
to.
clearly, but once we do that, it'll be fine. But to get there, we need you, our
Yes,
grassroots help. If you can hit that subscribe button, that'd be great.
that would be lovely.
We're not going to even mess around here. We have a huge show, and
do.
we have a guest, our first guest ever, our inaugural guest. So we have to move on to Laurel pretty soon. Let me see where. Let me check on her real quick. But
She's here.
she's here. You got her?
Yep.
Okay, I don't see her
Want
in
me
the
to bring
backstage.
her up?
Perfect. No, not just yet. Let's just talk about her really quick.
Okay.
So today we're going to talk about a little bit about. Last week we spoke about true crime and its
Why people love it.
why people love it. It's infant, right? But today is more about its infancy, and we have somebody who's going to really help us out. And I want her to be here for most of the show because
Yeah.
she has a special insight, right? She is a 16-year veteran as a firefighter, but she's also a therapist, and she I don't let her explain who she is, but she's the perfect person to kind of sail along with us because she is she's seen it. And like, for example, she was with Lacey and Scott Peterson, or saw one of them the day before the disappearance. So these are things that I really want to get into, and I haven't even spoken to her. I just said, unearth your darndest, and we'll discover it together.
Okay.
And Sam hasn't even met her yet, so it's all on me. It's all on me. So
Waiting on bated breath.
Yeah.
I've overthought this all week.
No overthinking. She's going to be a boon to it because she's an awesome personality. So she's going to be fun to talk to.
I can't wait.
So yeah. So we're going to talk about why these podcasts became a powerhouse, right? And like, what made us do it, aside from being fascinated from what we follow on the news and Netflix specials, Hulu shits. It's something that's exploded everywhere, right? Yeah. And back in 2003, when there was the first podcast ever, people didn't imagine that. I mean, imagine being Apple and coining that phrase, podcast.
I have to say, wasn't it Kevin Smith that was one of the very first podcasts ever? Creator of Jay and Silent Bob. He's actually Silent Bob, but I believe he had one of the very, very first podcasts back then. Wasn't sure how to market it. Was kind of losing money, and then Joe Rogan came along and got a deal with fucking Fleshlights and ended up making
Fleshlights.
No, for real. That's how it happened. But as sponsors of the fucking show, made a bunch of money through that. And that's kind of how podcasts came about. But I believe one of the very, very first podcasts was a Kevin Smith podcast, and he didn't really make money on it. He just did it as a, like we do, you know what I mean? Something he wanted to do and talk, and then Joe Rogan was able to monetize. So
absolutely, and that was the birth of I've had my YouTube channel for 19 years.
Oh wow!
Just 19 years. I'm like, what the fuck? Are you serious?
Holy shit!
Long time, a lot of videos, a lot of videos. Don't search my history. When I die, do not search the history of everything. That's crazy.
Right.
YouTube's fine, but not my. No, stay away from Google. So yeah, it was it exploded because people's curiosity, but also this is just to let's set the scene before we get into Laurel. And
right,
this is something that has been going on since the 1800s. Like we're not the first ones to think about this, nor will be the last. But the ones in the 1800s were more like true crime periodicals,
I actually last week when we were kind of delving into people's fascination with true crime and stuff. I mean, they had full on newspapers and things about crimes that were happening back then, and people were waiting in line to get the next issue to see what happened next, or the new facts of the trial and things like that. So I mean,
the same exact thing. It's like the
it
perfect
was all the time, for Pete's sakes. Everybody loves a true crime that everybody wants to not everybody, but most people want to, think they're smarter than we can't speak in absolutes, right? But most people want to, you know,
Be a
figure
part
out,
of it.
they think
Yeah.
they're better than they can figure out better than the actual professional. You want to know the psyche, the reason why. I think what drives me into, liking true crime is going, the why behind the crime.
Mhm.
I mean, I understand that, that this X crime happened, but why did the killer do this?
When did he snap? What
Yeah.
was the
What was
line?
the driving factor? Was it
Yeah.
a shitty bringing up? Was it that they just were born that way, which happens? Dupas, I believe, was,
Totally born that way. Whoa. Hi,
but
Sam.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, I think the psychology behind it is what makes me interested,
Totally.
and a lot of people, to be
Yeah.
honest.
And we have probably someone who's so close to it
Yeah,
that we should probably let her up and say
yeah,
hello.
do it.
Yeah. So here's Laurel Schamber.
Let me fix our the way we look real quick before I bring her up, so we can.
She's uniquely she lived adjacent to it for a long, long time.
Let me see if
Hey,
I.
Laurel.
There we go.
How are you?
That's not it. Sorry,
It's
folks.
okay. If it has to be that.
Oh, there we go.
Hello, Laurel. Nice to meet you.
How are you?
Nice to meet you too.
I'm so
So-
happy you're going to be on our show tonight. I'm excited to hear what you have to say, and I think it's going to be great. So,
Yeah. So Laurel, tell us a little bit about who you are and what your experiences have been. Kind of like the defining moment where you're like, oh God, this is a serious job.
So I did 16 years of emergency medicine in Stockton, California, which is one of the most violent. It was rated like the top 10 violent places in California. During that time, there was a lot of gang fights. People would open up the back of the ambulance, and the person that wasn't quite dead, they would make sure that they were dead.
oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a lot of crazy stuff going on back then. I was a lot younger, a little bit, put that jumpsuit on and you became Superman. A little more fearless. Wasn't your emergency, it was somebody else's.
Right.
So I did that 16 years, transferred over into the fire field where I got to be a fire investigator and a fire inspector, which is get to do the Bill Nye the Science Guy and
Talk about the why, right? Like as Sam was saying, like I wonder
Yeah.
why. Like that's the why. She finds
The
it out.
the why and the how. The how.
Yeah.
How did it start? Where did it start? Learned things I didn't even know that I knew. You like, how the hell did I know that about electrical? I don't know.
Right.
I'm not a contractor. So that, and then I also, in between all that, before that, I was a paralegal for 16 years.
Wow. Okay.
I like to change careers. I guess I get bored with what I'm doing and cut bait and start another.
I get it.
And you mentioned that you, so now you told me that you are an infidelity. Words are hard. Infidelity.
I am doing. I work as a coach, doing as a trauma coach for life, a repatterning coach for life after infidelity, healing. I work for underneath an actual coach. So
Did you notice that everything you do is adjacent to true crime?
Yeah, it is actually.
it kind of is. If you think about infidelity and some of the women and why they kill, I get it. I absolutely get it.
Same. I mean, yeah, totally. What brought you to where you're at now in coaching for infidelity?
I also went through it myself.
Right.
So I am a service heart, obviously.
Mhm.
With everything that I've done, it's to serve something, to serve others. And this was another way to, it takes somebody that's actually that's gone through it to absolutely understand it, because it's that trauma is so specific because it's someone that you trusted the most that hurt you the worst.
Exactly.
And that is something that, and unless you've gone through it, you really truly, it's
No, I understand. Been there.
it's like, I can't say that I've lost a child. I can kind of say I know what it feels like, but I truly don't.
Right.
But I do know what it's like when you have an unfaithful partner that lies to your face.
Right. And I mean, sorry.
Well,
when you're helping people like that, is it always you should leave, or is it we work it out, or how do you go about that? Just because I'm curious.
so what we do is we don't make that decision for you.
Right.
We get people healed enough to where they get to that point where they have that clarity and the healing and the empowerment to make the difficult decisions that they wanted to make. Like I went through their program, and that's how I ended up being asked to be a coach. I went into it to save my marriage, but my husband would rather die on that cross than be wrong about what he was doing. So there was and other factors that, he wasn't going to stop drinking either. So
The drinking was a big factor, obviously.
It was huge. It was a huge factor. So I had to get to that strength and get my feet back underneath myself, because it totally knocked me off my center. I'm a strong woman. I can do
Absolutely.
hard things.
Really is.
And it was, oh my God, you just want to curl up and
No, I understand. I mean, I've been there a few times.
it takes a little bit to recenter. So what we do is we help them get healed to the point where they have that centeredness and that clarity to make that difficult decisions and find what their heart's truth is, whether they're going to stay and lead their marriage and healing, or if they decide to leave and part ways peacefully. Whatever way they go, it's going to be without any regret. And so it takes a little bit, but the best part is we just say, you don't have to make those decisions right away. You don't want to make them on impulse and, just rash decisions. It just comes from a time of, it just takes a little bit of time and clarity to get to that point where you kind of sort through all the trauma and be able to have that clarity. And you realize that maybe your reaction to trauma is something that, like, maybe your parents were divorced and you never saw your dad again. And then your husband leaving is just similar. And so that trauma of your dad leaving never got healed. So you have this new trauma stacking on top of old trauma, because trauma likes to take the path of least resistance.
Agreed. Yeah.
And it'll just keep stacking on top of it. And because it's already an existing response and you know how to deal with it. And that's where it goes.
If we have anybody in the crowd that for any
Yes.
reason would like to speak to Laurel, I'm sure she'd be available to talk to anyone in the crowd, correct?
Thanks, AC. I have someone I think you would should talk to you. I won't name who it is on here because we're in front of God and everybody. But
God.
AC will connect us so you can, because they need your help.
Not a problem.
Yeah, and I knew you guys would become fast friends because you guys are basically the same personality. Go, 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 go.
I know.
So-
I think I'm driving him crazy because right now I'm kind of still just kind of, I digested a move from Arizona to here, and I'm like, come on, let's clean the fridge.
Yeah.
Which was my plan anyway, but like she's a catalyst, right? She's like, hey, get your ass down here and let's do this.
That's
And
awesome.
I need that kick in the ass. Trust me, I need that. I need
does
that.
need that.
Today I woke up with a backache and I was like, oh, dying, but we got through it. But she's imagine the day-to-day she has compared to like now. She's like, hit the brakes and she's chilling here.
Sure.
I'm like, take a vacation, but she's like, I'm bored as fuck.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
Going Mach 5. Imagine, I had a 2-story. I had a big house by myself with 2 dogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
I packed and sold. I sold a lot of it, but I packed it and got it all ready to go by myself.
I'm proud of you. That's awesome.
No, she's done a big thing. And you got to be. It's not. You have to be really strong inside to do all the things she has to do, and by herself.
I will take the last conversation I had with my stepdad that raised me, that I didn't know was going to be the real last convo, because it was like he died like maybe 4 or 5 days later. I went up to the hospital to spend time with him because he lived the hospital was about an hour from where I lived. And that conversation was, I've always admired you for being able to just pick yourself up and pivot and just go with it and change and not be afraid to take a change.
I love that.
So he goes, I've just admired you throughout the years that you've been able to do that. He goes, a lot of people would have just stood still and just not done anything. He goes, you just pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep going.
Yeah.
He goes, I just never seen anybody like that. So I took that
great last conversation.
Yeah, so that my dad was proud of me because he was the man that,
Yeah, he's your dad. I get it.
He was my dad. So I was grateful to have two strong male figures. I had my biological dad that
Yeah.
parents were divorced, and every other weekend dad, Disney dad. But still, all my time with him was quality time, and learned a lot from him. And then my stepdad that was there every day and was judging boys as they showed up to pick me up, and my biggest protector and my biggest cheerleader, I guess, that I never knew.
Yeah.
So there's that. Yay.
I love
I
it.
can do hard things, and everybody can do hard things. You just got to dig.
Yeah, I
Sit and-
agree.
It's like you can sit in a corner and cry about it, but is it helpful? Is it going to do anything? No. Like I was 53 years old, going to be in the freaking dating pool again. And I went, fuck that.
Yeah.
I was still doing fire prevention, but just more of the glitter unicorns and sparkly. And I was the face of the fire department and dealt with kids. And it was a great job. I got paid to go sit in parades. It was fantastic, but I knew it wasn't going to pay the bills. And an email came across about being able to get my investigator and inspection certificate. And I did that. Work supported it. I got reimbursed for it. And
Nice.
so
I love it.
within 30 days of finding out that my ex had a girlfriend that was in Cozumel, that lived in Cozumel, Mexico, and had a 6-year-old kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Like, what was that like? Finding that? Like, what was the initial shock of that?
So I found out that he was there. He was supposed to be at our mother-in-law's ranch in our travel trailer, and through women, I will give us all props. We have more computer skills and FBI, CIA skills than we ever knew.
Women investigators, period. They're better than any
We
detective.
absolutely are.
I found out that he was there, and because I worked fire, so I had 2 cell phones. I had my personal and my work. I found out he was in Cozumel. Pictures of the woman showed up on our computer without even me having to hack. One of them that concerned me was a woman pregnant picture, a pregnant post, professional picture. I'm like, what the fuck? We don't have children. Was that the deciding factor? We both agreed we were okay not having kids. But what it was is that when he first moved out, that was fine. He was like, I need to think over things. I'm like, okay, wake up call.
Mhm.
Let's go to counseling. And his only request was, I just want to wait until after the promotional test, because he worked fire as well. Like, cool, I can do that. So he was willing to go to couples counseling. I'm like, I don't think our marriage is so broke it can't be fixed. So when he first left, called my best friend and go, half crying, half laughing, going kind of stunned, because I'm like, I think my husband just broke up with me.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of how it was. And then a week later is when my girlfriends urged me to go check our financials, because I never did, because we did okay and I never had to check the money.
Right.
And he took care of all of it, because I didn't get married till I was 38. I can slay the dragon. I just got tired of it and
Exactly.
I'll do it. Sweet. When I found out, I found a first charge was a charge at the airport in Dallas Fort Worth, and I was like, that fucker's in Mexico. I know it, because that's where we would trade. That's where we had to change planes and go to Cozumel,
Yeah.
as we went there quite often.
Gotcha. So you couldn't even think about going another route. She-
No. And he withdrew money out of the airport too, at the ATM. Can
Wow.
see that.
I mean, it's clear as day.
Yeah. So, and then other things kept popping up, and I was like, texted him, like, care to explain? And then he would call me and he'd be like, yeah, I'm here. It's where I feel like I could really just be by myself and get centered and think about things clearly and, do that. Okay, cool. And then 20 minutes later, I find an email that says that he wrote, because everything on my computer just on our desktop started opening up for me
Yeah.
like magic, like God's going, you need to see all this bullshit.
Right.
And saw an email going, hey, a friend of mine want to go scuba diving this week. I'm here for the week to the dive shop. And I went, called him. I go, sent him a text. I go, who the fuck's your friend that you're there with?
Right.
You and a friend. He goes, it does. And then it was like, deny. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I'm here by myself. And then as the evening progressed, that's when the pictures opened up. And there were pictures of him on the fire engine, all smiling, pictures of him in our jacuzzi. And he's not a thin man. And just all these happy pictures. And what I got when I would get home from work was resting bitch face and grumpy cat. And I'm like, so she's getting that.
The best of you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I know you have that in you, but I don't get that. And so these are all signs I now see where he was withdrawn. He was an asshole. I couldn't do anything right. Everything was wrong. I walked on eggshells, and I now know those are all signs of infidelity that I didn't know before. I had no clue.
Right.
He was always an asshole, but
He was your asshole.
He was my asshole.
He was my asshole. And it's like, and my aunt always said that all men are assholes. It's a varying degree that you're willing to live with. Well, I married a certain level, and it amped the fuck up to nuclear stage to where I couldn't even breathe right. And so to get to the end of the story is, how did I feel? It was a total gut punch.
Of course.
I'm half Portuguese, so I get a little fiery when I'm mad. And I'll explode, but I'm done. It was when I got him to get on a plane the next day and fly home. And I was eerily calm the whole time. And I think it scared the shit out of him because I was just very calm.
Sure.
Very, very calm. Just I wanted him home. I wanted to work on our marriage. And who came home was not my husband. I don't know who that
person came back as.
Right.
I don't know who that shit
Well,
pile was.
now they know, so the jig is up, so they can't. It's.
I mean,
as soon as you start unmasking things, I'm sure that's it. They turn into a zombie because they're like, I have nothing. I have no armor.
Well, he moved out. He was already out of the home, and he would come over and talk to me when I would ask him to talk. Of course, went straight into I need to fix my shit mode because obviously it's me, right? It's me.
Well,
right. It had to be me because it couldn't have been him. But you go into fix mode because that's what you're conditioned to do. And I'll do my parts because I'm going to save it. But like some of the things, like I got mad and I bagged all of his clothes and all of his crap and I put it in the garage and I go, you need to pick it up. You're not living here. You don't want to live here. You get your shit out. You already got a storage unit 6 months ago that I didn't know about. Go put it in your storage unit.
Oh shit! You just call that a storage unit while simultaneously telling him get your shit and put it in that storage unit you never told me about.
Right. Yeah. Because I made him drive me by it to see what was in it, and there's only a few weird things in there, like the Yeti, big Yeti cooler that I know I can fit in because we tested that. That was interesting.
That was not sexual at all.
That wasn't pre-planned. And like his road bike that he was way too.
Right.
But he never rode. It looked like 300 pounds of fun on a toothpick. Like, let's just be real. Stuffed in spandex, it was a sight.
Seen that a few times.
Spandex is a privilege, not a right.
Yeah, so I just laugh. It is. Yeah.
So let's talk.
Can't get
So-
out of your rat face. But
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
I get it.
Get your spandex out of here.
Get out of here.
So let's talk about, let's move on so we can get to other stuff. Thanks for sharing that. It's gotta be hard.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Honestly, I'm sure there's plenty of listeners that we have that will benefit from what you've
Yeah.
said.
Yep. And you can actually, at the end, you can maybe tell them where to find you, and then we'll put it in the description.
Yeah, overall, just remember it has absolutely nothing to do with you. That is my biggest lesson. It had nothing to do with you. If you can take anything away, it has nothing to do with you. And that's the hardest part to understand when relationships fail.
I have someone close to me that's going through this at this moment, and I have tried to convey that it's not them, it's their partner, and I don't know how to say it better. You know what I mean? I've tried to be there as a confidant, and I'm
You're too close to it.
yeah, I am too close to it.
And it has to be somebody from. It has to come from somebody, another source, another outside, not as intermingled and
Agreed.
Yeah, you're too close to it.
Too close
I
to
know.
it.
I just feel helpless because I want to help.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's
You
kind
can-
of who I am. You know what I mean?
But you know what? Listening to the story and just when she calls or
Yes.
he calls, that's the best.
And I'm there for that. I absolutely am. I just being so close to it, I don't want to see this person hurt, and it hurts me that they're hurting. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love for them to connect with you.
Probably the best thing you can do is not only be there, but also now you can connect to somebody
That's what I'm
that can
saying.
actually
Yeah,
help.
hoping
And a third party arbiter that doesn't know the story to hear it for the first time. I know it helps me, when I have my trauma, is to talk to somebody who doesn't know anything about it. Because I want to know if I'm crazy or not, right? And I need to hear from a third person to know if it's me, or is it not me, or is it a combination?
I agree, and since I'm so close to it, I mean, I'm obviously on the side of
Bias.
I love, but if it was somebody, I can tell you for absolute fact, if it wasn't that person, I'd still be on their side. You know what I mean?
Right, of course.
However,
it's
it
that
doesn't
obvious.
read that true when it's somebody I'm so close to. I understand that. So
For sure. Well, let's do that. We'll leave the information, and we'll connect these folks. Anybody else who's interested, you can comment, and we can certainly get you Laurel's information. Today, she was dying to help somebody, and she didn't get any calls. So let's move on to the true crime aspect of it. So you said that you were, how do you know Lacey and Scott Peterson?
That is like the craziest circumstances of happy accidents, I guess. So I lived in Central California, Cal Poly, Pismo Beach area for a while. My cousin went to Cal Poly. She and I were very close, and I was there for a weekend, and I think it was homecoming weekend. And so we went to tailgate, and we tailgated with Lacey and Scott Peterson.
wow.
And Lacey and I both graduated. We were both close to the same age, graduated from rival high schools in Modesto, California. She was also she was a cheerleader with one of my very close friends. So at that time, this is when they owned a restaurant in San Luis Obispo. Scott and Lacey owned a burger joint.
Right.
So I hung out that afternoon, had beers with Scott and Lacey, and I remember talking to Lacey, connecting with her because we were both half Portuguese, which is not unusual for Central California. Central California is full of Portuguese people that own dairy farms and farming.
I love it.
Yeah. So and so I connected with her then, and then a few years later, they had sold the restaurant. I had moved back to Modesto after, I guess I bought a house. Ends up my house was in the same, it was just a short walk to their home from my home in Modesto. Because I remember there being crowds. I remember the helicopters. And then several months later, I do remember one of my good friends was like, I want to drive by the house. Okay. I tend to be a little bit of a sensitive. I don't say I'm a psychic, but I get
kind
little
of empathic. Yeah.
Premonitions.
I can see some things that happen. Like you tell me somebody passed, or before one of my friend's kids was hit with in an accident. I already knew what happened when the the police officer called. I knew what happened because I could see it
Right. Right.
like a movie. It was just weird. It's just weird. Things I can't understand, and I just kind of brush off. But when we pulled up in front of Scott and Lacey's house, this is months. He was already arrested. Trial was imminent. I don't even know if they own the home anymore. Pulled up in front of his house. I immediately had the hair on the back of my neck stand up, and I felt sick to my stomach. And I went, "We need to leave."
Mhm.
He's like, what's going on? I go, "We need to leave. All I can tell you is something truly evil happened here." And he was like, "I get it." And we moved on. We drove on. And I was inside a car.
Wow.
So back a little bit. So meet Scott and Lacey, Cal Poly. He's a nice looking dude. She and I get along. She's super sweet. She's like 5'1". She's and I are two little teeny gals.
You're like 5'1". She's like this big.
She and I were the same size. And fast forward several years later, we're both back in Modesto. And granted, I didn't have contact with them after that. But I worked for a law firm. I used to be a paralegal. And the fertilizer company Scott worked for was a client of the law firm I worked for. And we had a annual open house. So on the 23rd, we had our holiday open house. I saw very pregnant Lacey, got to reconnect with her, had a conversation with her and go, "Hey, this is, I'm Jill's cousin. We were at Cal Poly. I remember going to the tailgate with you." "Oh yeah, her, caught up with her, about my cousin's husband playing golf with Scott, all that good stuff."
Right.
So the next day was the 24th of December. She was wearing that in that picture you see of her sitting with this little red cropped suit, little red top, red pants, red top. That was what she was wearing the night I saw her. And
Wow.
she was just so radiant. And she was just so over being so excited to be pregnant, but over it because she was so big.
I get it.
So pregnant. And then the story starts. That's where the story starts, is the next day. And little things are coming up in the news, and they're like starting off. And it's like living a true crime because we're just hearing all this different stuff. Nobody knows about Amber yet. It's now right after, I want to say it was like probably right after New Year's Eve, after New Year's, because our firm opened back up and Scott had to come in and sign papers for the company he worked for. And he walked right to get to the conference room. My desk was, and whoop,
And you're back.
back. You're back. You're good.
and so my desk was right next to the door. And that was not a man that looked worried. He did not look like he had any kind of sleep deprivation. He was kind of happy-go-lucky, jovial, kind of making jokes with the attorney. That was the contract attorney. And all of us, there were three of us, four of us paralegals in a row that he had to pass. And as soon as he left the building, we all four, it was because they were open cubes.
Mm-hmm.
We all four looked at each other and went, "He did it."
Wow.
Because unfortunately, another true crime that I had exposure to was Chandra Levy. Her parents.
Yeah.
We represented her parents, so I was constantly getting. Back then, it was faxes. Oh my God, the fax machine faxes that I was getting, maps and UFOs and the crazy would come out. So
we're getting a new fax, guys. Hold tight.
So,
yeah.
question for you: when you first met them, or maybe not when you first met them, but like at that party that you had, or where you saw her in the did you get an odd vibe between them? Did you have enough interaction with him that you thought, oh, he might be XYZ or nothing? No.
You
Okay.
look normal.
He's a sociopath. He
I
totally.
mean, I get
Sociopath.
that.
Narcissistic sociopath. You know, it's just like, doesn't matter. World revolves around me. I'm the guy.
He was just as charismatic as ever, and just you would never know that there was anything wrong.
Right.
You know, he just looked like the doting husband and bringing his wife something to drink, asking her if she needed anything else. Wanted him to take her plate. Just
That's amazing.
Typical narcissistic sociopath, for show, perfect husband. You know what I mean? I've dated plenty of.
But she was miserable behind the scenes. Yeah, she was. I mean, they were going at it constantly.
That's what the
reports say. Yeah.
the reports say. I would never, I didn't have that relationship to know
Right.
with her.
But, I mean, obviously something was off when he came in to sign the
At
document.
that point, yeah.
Yeah, you're like, wait, this doesn't seem like a guy whose wife is missing with their.
No, somebody who's taking time to come into a law firm to
At
sign
that
it
time, like so
during that
soon.
time that his wife is missing, and they are setting up headquarters at the down at the convention center. They've got space at the convention center and they're doing searches down in the.
Oh, I lost connection now.
Lost connection. We're good.
All of
We're
us.
back. Live stuff here, guys. We do live. We serve hot food. So
It's like whack-a-mole.
Yeah, it was. Boop, boop, boop.
But yeah, so with all this going on, and the candlelight vigil had been like just a couple of days before that,
Mhm.
and then to see him, and like I had firsthand knowledge and seeing the grieving parents of Chandra Levy, right?
Right, yeah.
How traumatized they were and how upset they were, and
of course,
even like over a year later, they're still very upset and tearful.
visibly, yeah. And it's not an act. You can tell.
You can tell, and like they look, when it first happened, and they weren't able to, they look just exhausted, and Scott looked like he had, his beauty rest and was sleeping like a baby. Maybe he wasn't, but that he did not look. He didn't have circles under his eyes. He looked like he hadn't lost any weight.
Right.
All the different things of trauma tend to do to you, and
Yeah, drain you. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, he did not look like a distressed spouse.
No.
He did not look. His appearance and behaviors weren't what would be. I mean, what's appropriate behavior? I don't know, but it did not seem like that behavior was appropriate for someone that was having search parties look for his wife and unborn child.
Right. I mean, one would think at that moment, I mean, they're missing,
This is my unborn child. If you don't care about Lacey, this is your unborn child also.
And you knew it was a son.
Yeah.
You knew it was a boy.
The light of his life, right? He should be like all torn up.
Right? The firstborn son. Wow. Right?
Exactly.
You would think that they wouldn't even be able to pull their shit together enough to go in and sign a leave, go run an errand and do a document.
One would think you'd be like, this needs to be for somebody else. Somebody else in this company can do this.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. We'll bring it to your house.
Yeah.
So let's take the last couple of minutes here until we start talking about our topic, which we want you to stick around for. So you said that you found in all your years arson twice, right? That you found out it was arson. And then what was the craziest thing that you saw? And don't hold back. You can say whatever you want. Craziest thing you saw, maybe one or two things you saw.
Like during EMS, saw so much stuff though. I can't even. Just the people's reaction with grief. Like you have a parent that is obviously on hospice, and I had a big Samoan woman like try to push me out of the way, and I was able to push her back because I didn't want her to see her dad laying in the floor, and he had liver failure. And when you have liver failure, blood comes up and out. I didn't want that to be her last
memory
of her father. And so this girl was like big old Samoan girl. She was like 6 feet tall, and oh my God, I can't remember who I was working with that day, but 5 foot, all 5'1" of me in a jumpsuit with a badge was like, no, you cannot go in there. And I used the excuse that the coroner was needed. You couldn't go in there until after the coroner's gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that kind of kept her out. Some things that kind of, I don't know, there's so much stuff that I saw. I don't even remember.
I know my brother, he worked for the Nevada Donor Network. He would have to be at the hospital quick to take people's organs, like freshly dead people. Was it anything gruesome that you saw? Like, it was anything like, wow, like how the fuck did that happen?
The guy that survived was a what the fuck happened. He fell asleep at the wheel, went off of an overpass in we're talking like early 2000s. I think it was like a newer Trans Am, I think. Okay. So he went off the overpass, and underneath it was like a tunnel with the cement lining. His car went off the overpass, kind of like hit the cement and slid down.
Oh my gosh.
So he had a frontal impact, and then the actual impact. The car was like, we were able to get him out before fire got there, because we would do first. Ambulance was the only 911 transport in that county at the time.
Wow.
Sometimes fire made it before us. Sometimes they made it way after we did. And the guy, I think what saved him is
Saved him?
God saved him because
I thought he was crushed in the car.
he walked away because he was drunk as a freaking skunk.
There we go.
Wow.
See? Drink, guys. You become impervious to pain.
I've seen more heinous accidents with the drunk killing an innocent family than and walking away with almost nothing because they are just
Three sheets of the wind.
Yeah, so that is my biggest takeaway. That was the biggest one. I won't drink, and I'll have a glass of wine, and then it'll be 2 hours before I drive.
Yeah.
But that is my hard. I've seen too much.
And I have to say, in this day and age, there is no reason to drive drunk. I mean, we can Uber anywhere.
Absolutely.
I want to drive my car.
We can. I mean, my husband's sister, my sister-in-law, she is a district attorney in New Mexico. And one of the things they did during Cinco de Mayo was their office paid for Ubers to and from bars, to the bar or home from the bar, so they wouldn't drink and drive. And honestly, I mean, back in the day during, New Year's, there was the taxis that would give you the free ride home, right? But there really is no reason to drink and drive anymore. I mean,
No.
there never was, but I mean, let's be fair, up until, I don't know, a certain time, it was just kind of the norm,
That in the early 2000s where I was working and living, there really were no taxis.
Right. Yeah.
There weren't. It wasn't it was a town. It was a city, Stockton. But there really weren't that many taxis around. And if they were super expensive.
Well, I'm in the Midwest. I'm in Omaha, Nebraska, and we're not a big taxi town. I mean, the only downtown and from the airport is where you take a taxi. Granted, could you call one? Sure, but it's not something. What's nice about now is that we do have Ubers that we can call, and they're fairly inexpensive. Yeah. I mean, they're not horribly expensive. $20 gets you pretty much anywhere in town. But I understand. Taxis really aren't a thing. It's not like we're New York or
Right.
Get in a cab.
You can't just go out on the street, by your neighborhood bar and get one. It's tough, but. Thankfully, Ubers are a thing because it makes it accessible for folks. And I don't know, it is a lot different than it was in the early 2000s. I'll tell you that.
And I was going to say, I think some of the hardest call I saw was we got called for a car accident out in a rural area. We get there and it's on fire.
Oh no.
And my partner and I at the time, and this is something you just kind of stick it away, but I could hear him scream. I'm like,
in the car,
in the truck. Yeah. And we couldn't get him out because there was no way.
You'd hurt yourself.
Right. And that was
Oh,
when I was
God.
working with, my partner was 6'6". They knew all the ERs knew who we were because I'm the short and he was the tall.
Right.
Like
They partnered you perfect.
Yeah. So, but that was one of the hardest ones was that.
I'm sure.
Then there's things that you lock away and you don't realize you lock it away. When I was working in the ER, we had an infant death. Ended up the baby had a tumor on its heart that was going to be going to the children's hospital later that day, scheduled for surgery. The tumor kind of like, I guess the doctor described it to like a golf, like a ping pong ball getting stuck in a hose.
Oh,
The tumor, we worked on that child for hours trying to get him back. And I remember my nurse manager at the department, we got a rocking chair. Gave her a rocking chair because, this happened early in the morning. It was like getting close to 3 PM. And I'm like, they're not ready yet. And my boss is like, well, we need that room. I go, well, I'm not going to ask them. If you want them to leave, you need to ask them to leave because I'm not going to do it. And because it really wasn't my job. That wasn't part of my job. So they finally agreed to, because we didn't have a morgue, we used the mortuary. And this baby, I was able to get the mortuary, parked in the ambulance bay, came in. I met him out in the bay, and I go, please, whatever you do, do not bring that freaking gurney in with that red blanket.
Right.
Please don't use that. Please just carry the child. And then I go, and as I talked to him longer, and I knew the mom wasn't ready. She just was not ready yet. This is their first child. And me coming off, pulling something out of thin air and thinking outside the box, I go, would you guys be okay if she sat in the front seat and held the baby to the mortuary? And then when you get there, she'll hand you the baby. Because I don't think she can handle having you take the baby from her. And so the mortuary was small town, agreed. There were 2 of them. One sat on a milk crate in the back. We put the mom in the front seat. I helped seatbelt her in, handed her the child, wrapped in a blanket, and she was able to ride in the front seat. And what happened was when I slammed that door, that mortuary van, it was the same sound of the ambulance door that I've seatbelted thousands of other parents in the front seat while their kid was in the back being transported. And it just hit me like a thunderclap. And I was done for the day. That was it. I mean, I was thankful. What is it? We all say every shift ends. I just lost it because I had it in control the whole day because it wasn't my emergency. I felt bad. To hear the wail of a parent that lost a child, that is something that's ingrained in my head. But I know the doctor that was on did absolutely everything he could have. He was an amazing doctor. We used to call him Yoda. He was just a great doctor. But so not the craziest thing, but definitely the one that that one is the one that has always stuck out, that it cost me nothing to be kind and treat that mother with absolute cotton balls and fluff. And
absolutely.
later, and she was also found out later she was a cousin of one of the nurses. And it came back to me that they were so thankful that I was so kind and was able to do that for her, because the family was able to follow and go to the mortuary and get her.
Yeah.
That small thing made the biggest difference to her in the whole wide world. And she got that last few minutes, and they go, well, she can't come in the mortuary. I go, no, she won't come in. She's just
right up to that point.
Right up to that point. I go, because she's not ready yet.
Wow.
And I just could feel that her energy with that, and just being a human and giving people time to grieve. Everybody's different. Everybody deserves to grieve in their own way.
Absolutely.
And so, that's strong of you to do that.
I have to say the world needs more of you.
They're out there. There's more of us. We just fly under the radar. I mean, I've honestly, in the last 3 years, I have the people that you need come into your life when you need them.
You're right. They do.
Told you, Sam.
I know. I'm gonna cry. I
Dude.
feel like I'm gonna cry.
Told you. So thanks for sharing that. That's
Yeah, so that's
serious
not,
business.
it's not the, I mean, the one that's weird, the other weird one was a guy looked like he had a cut under his eyeball
Mhm.
because it was a domestic violence, or they were an assault. There were two guys fighting, and the one guy's like, he fucking hit me in the face, man. We're like, so we don't, we're looking, we don't see anything. It looks just like he got punched in the face and has a cut under his eye. Later, the ER doctor holds up an x-ray for us later. We're running our next, we come in and out. It was a busy, used to call payday Friday Mother's Day, because that's when everybody that's when they all get the welfare checks and spent it on booze and drugs.
Yep.
So there was always domestic violence, super busy on those Fridays. He was shot in the face.
Holy buckets. Like
And so-
22 or something, a small one. Yeah.
22.
22. So we ended up going with the nurse, and he was sedated and transporting him to a higher level of care for the neurosurgeon.
Wow.
I was like, ooh, well,
Did you say it went at the back?
and now it just
It's
stuck.
probably
It
stuck there.
was stuck. It was like stuck in his nugget. It didn't cause any deficit or anything, which is amazing.
Incredible.
I don't know. It wasn't like it exploded. It was just a low caliber,
Yeah.
but it looked like a cut. It literally looked like a cut under his eye, and then it stuck like right in the temporal area.
Wow.
So it's an immediate. You're gonna point your eye out with that thing, right? You're gonna. What was the thing from A Christmas Story? You're gonna poke your eye out with that
Your
thing.
eye out.
You just poke your eye out, kid. And so we just thought he got punched, and
Yeah.
he thought he got punched. He didn't know. He didn't know.
You didn't even know. Huh.
Mm-mm.
Unreal.
Wow.
Welcome to the 209. Well, also known as Sucktown,
Sucktown.
which is Stockton, California.
That's what I usually call Miami.
For being so vanilla and sheltered, I learned a lot.
Of course. Yeah.
Learned a lot about human nature. Can't believe that I still can't believe that people are, at that time were, they try to beat you up, or we were just really careful. And it's sad that you had to be careful because you're generally there to help. Somebody called you there to help them.
Right.
And you're like, but you called me.
To them, you're automatically the feds. You can automatically like it doesn't matter. You, the feds, the cops, everybody's the same thing.
We all wore blue and a badge. It didn't matter what we were doing.
Okay.
Like, dude, first thing I do is like stab you with a really bad needle and
Right.
give you some oxygen, dude. Sorry. Maybe shock you.
Jesus, the defibrillator, my favorite thing.
Oh my God. That is a medical. I hate watching medical shows. 911. There's only like there are very few rhythms that tell you to shock.
Seriously.
Really?
Yeah, there's not very many.
You would think everybody is like, I broke my leg. Well, get ready. Put that cream on it.
I do have to. I do want to share one good defibrillator story.
Yeah.
From a nurse friend of mine who was an ER nurse forever. He's still a great friend of mine. They were going to sedate this gentleman because that's the humane thing to do before you send electricity through your body. So they were going to defibrillate her. They were going to zap him to get his heart into a regular rhythm. And so what he did is he told the guy to hold on a package of microwavable popcorn. And so before the guy woke up, he went to the microwave.
Oh, I love that.
Put it back in the guy's hand. And
That is lovely.
And when he woke up, he's like, dude, I've never seen anything like this. That is amazing. With the guy just fell for it. It was, we have a very warped sense of humor.
You have to. I mean, you have to. When you're not at work,
Yeah.
either things are jokes or you got to like play some music or you got to do something to get it. I mean, watching people die all day or transporting children, it's got to be.
Yeah, I watched, I transferred a lot of psychiatric kids, and that was sad. I had, out of all the kids, there were some girls that were like 16 years old. They were going, so mom, is this the place I went last time? Because she had a hissy fit because she couldn't go out with her friends, and she took a handful of like Benadryl or something stupid.
Wow.
She just needed she just clearly needed an ass whipping.
Attention.
Yeah.
She just needed a butt beat. But then I had a 12-year-old girl that I picked up from the orphanage who tried to cut herself with a plastic serrated knife. And talking to her, I always talk to the kids in the back, and I'm like, you could always get them to tell you what they wanted to be when they grew up. That's how I knew that they were full of shit. Because somebody that wants to be dead and doesn't want to live anymore, they don't have any projection of what they're going to do in the future. This little girl she was like 11. She was like, I want to be dead.
Oh.
Wow.
I can't, and she was very open with me. It was like an hour in the back with her, and I'll never forget that little girl. But I hopefully talked to her like a human being that had feelings and hopefully I gave her enough self-worth that her life got better. But she went through she told me what she went through, and what her uncle and her grandpa and everybody else in the man folk in her family did to her. And she just wanted to be dead. And I went, well, I just remember, and that's the one girl, there's a couple kids that I remember, and she was one of them.
Wow.
Because she was the only one that was like, she needs all the love and help that anybody can give her.
Yeah.
Laurel, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the world was not kind to her.
Yeah. Laurel, before we get into like the obviously you, but we're going to talk about as well, which one we want you to be here for. Tell people where they can find you and the number or a website, whatever they would reach you.
So the coach that I work for is Epiphany K at epiphanyk.com. And you can fill out, she's all over social media as well. And you can get a free consultation, a free call.
Awesome.
And
you can also get in contact with me or Sam, right? And then we'll contact Laurel for you.
Yeah.
You do that directly, but it's important that if anybody feels like Laurel is somebody you can connect with and somebody that can help you, I think it's pretty easy to see that you can.
Yeah.
I think that you should take every opportunity to do so. If you don't think that things happen for a reason, like I do, I don't think that happens for a reason. But if you do, this happened for a reason. So let's give her a call.
You're so cynical, AC.
I am. We're in a floating ball going 1,000,000 miles an hour through space, and this is
I
best,
know, but I do think things happen for a reason.
That's like, hello.
Yeah.
Like I met him. Hello.
Yeah, exactly.
We are the house of misfit toys.
I love that.
We're just broken children walking around.
Great.
So
Perfect though.
yeah, it was broken. Yeah, what was it? Was it A Nightmare Before Christmas? A Nightmare Before Christmas. Everybody's just like a broken fucking. Yeah, we're on another level. You can't sit with us. So what we want Laurel to stick around for is also like we're going to talk about how true crime became what it is today and what it was before, right? So start off with this first segment, right? So
well, let's take a quick break.
Oh yeah.
I'll just put on the thing real quick.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the whole fucking time.
Yeah, 2 minutes or so.
Yeah. Just a quick break,
That's
get a reset, and then we'll get into
everybody pee, everybody take your drugs, whatever you need to do.
Really kind of what I need to do. But I didn't want to, slide away. So let's just do a quick intermission. I will put on our song, and I'll be back just a couple minutes.
Our song. Yeah, hang out, stretch your legs.
All right. We'll be back.
Yo, turn the microphone up. Yeah, yo, check this out. SamIam and A.C. in your sight. That's what I'm talking about. We on the line tonight. Yeah. It must be Friday night, huh? Check it, right? Thought brokers on the air. It gotta be Friday night. You know A.C. and SamIam. Every take come tight. They come correct with the true crime. Cut through the hype. If you ain't tapped in yet, you behind on sight. They got the news, got the facts. Every angle they glean. Thought brokers breaking down true crime coats in between. Story veterans, seasoned voices sitting the scene. They've been cooking up these cases for a hot minute clean. If there was trophies for getting lit and still going live, they sweep the whole award show. Every medal, all 5. Buzz brain, sharp tape, still the logic survive. They keep it honest, keep it raw, keep the madness alive. And it's not only news, it's the jokes that they choose. Words are hard. 1-star strip clubs, they review the rules. Very passionate rundowns on them toys you can use. Amazon confessionals, pick a product and view. Alex murder, OJ headlines, Gypsy Rose in the file. Twin flame scammers, Menendez on the case profile. People kidnapped, hoodwinked with a digital smile. Scammed and straight up whack, it's in the docket on trial. It don't matter, the fatter that the storyline stack. even when they're running it back. They break it down frame by frame, every detail intact. Never slack, never clock out, they stay on the attack. Let's act, Sam, I am, and A.C. Sam, I am, and A.C. That perspective is key. Perfect duo to make you look and actually see all the bad in the world, all the rot underneath. From the killers to the monsters living right down the street. They ain't stuck on pretty phrases, they don't dance round facts. Ain't too many extra fillers when they talk on the acts. They just lay it how it is, how these villains react. Bang, bang, case closed, bodies vanish on track. What about coats? They got that every chapter and song. From the quiet gated suburbs to the doctrines gone wrong. When the power and obsession run insanely strong. They call it twisted out, tell you why it's been wrong. So long, so long. Somewhere out there is a system that keeps letting it slide. Whole towns look the other way, just protecting the pride. But the brokers pull receipts, bring the truth to the light. Name the patterns that repeat when the money's in sight. Probably best in the world at exposing the scheme. So sit down, let the feed roll. Welcome into the stream. One of the best boy-girl tag teams you ever have seen. Pulling threads on every case till the motives are clean. Words are hard, yeah, Sam, but you still land tough. Hard as hell, but you spin them when the topics are rough. Might laugh at the stumbles when the phrasing is scuffed, but the insight stays sharp and the research enough. Yeah.
Thanks.
And we're back.
We are. We did get a comment. Some theorize that our
Margie?
experience of seeing what we call ghosts as a collective of our own subconscious memory and perspective of the person and events surrounding their lives and deaths. So
Yeah. You put that. I'm sorry. Can you put that back up? So I can.
we've talked about imprinting and things like that a bit on the show.
We have, and we're going to get into a lot more of that coming up too in the subsequent
Yes.
episodes because we have Halloween coming up, and of course we get spookier as we go, and we are most definitely going to talk about imprinting and believe, if you believe or not, there's still energy in the world, and you can't destroy energy; you can only displace it, right? So
Right.
it's got to go somewhere. And thanks, Marcy. Thank you for the comment. That was very thoughtful.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's get into the segment here. We're talking about the origins of it. We're going to talk about in the 1800s. Can you imagine that? Do you think that you're the first person to watch a podcast? No. Did you know the first podcast was not in 2003, as we normally think. It was back in the 1800s. So,
Well,
yeah, I mean, this is not a new thing. It was Jack the Ripper and all the murderers that were back in the day. So, before podcasts, one of the earliest versions of crime, like true crime, was called a murder ballad. And anybody heard of the murder ballad?
mhm.
Okay. So the murder ballad is a song, essentially, right? So these were songs about killings, betrayals, executions, missing women, jealous lovers, family murders, public scandals, you name it. And there were songs that got around and they become what we call today, right? So it sounds strange, but it's basically just the original true crime podcast. So somebody would commit a terrible crime, and instead of the documentary coming out like Hulu and Netflix, a song could spread. People would sing in homes, taverns, streets, churches, work camps, wherever people gathered together. Right? It's like, oh, have you heard about this? Let me sing you the song. So murder ballads were usually simple, dramatic, and moral. I didn't grab one for us to hear, but maybe I will by the end of the show. They often had a warning baked in. So remember, when we talk about warnings, like why people like true crime, like last week, it's a warning, it's a social experiment. You can also participate in it, right? Because we think we know better. But also it's a social, like, what's going on today? Is that possible? Are women getting sequestered? So usually they had a warning, like don't kill, don't cheat, don't wander alone, don't trust the wrong person or the wrong man. The victim, killer, and punishment were turned into a story people could remember, which is just like we do now. We do it episodically, right? We do it, if you do so one of the first ones was called Serial. You remember that, right? Yeah. And that was from My American Life. It's one of the original podcasts. And from there, spun off, it was a story of Adnan. And Adnan was, I don't know if anybody heard that. If you don't, it's still on Apple. You can check that out. It's a heck of a story, and it had me on the edge of my seat back in the day. And so anywhere people gathered was where these people sing the song, right? And JSTOR describes murder ballads as one of the earliest forms of crime storytelling, tied to cheap printed broadsides and sensational news sheets. Broadsides helped turn crime into portable media, so kind of like like a periodical,
Mhm.
and you could buy them. You can read, you can sing, and you can repeat. So it was like almost like a viral thing where people could. It did its own
It's
marketing.
the 1800s version of viral.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Have you heard? Have you checked this out?
I looked up Lizzie Borden because that was one of the America's famous
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because she was acquitted, axe murdered. It became a jump rope song.
Really?
It was
Oh,
Lizzie Borden took an axe, gave her money, 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41.
Nice.
Oof.
So there's your virals.
It's
There's your ballad. It was little kids playing jump rope, singing that.
She see my playmate. Come on and play with me.
Yeah, that's
Exactly. Sure.
Mhm.
They often had a warning baked in, and of course, it was true crime as entertainment, but it was also crime as a social instruction. And I ask you both: do you think murder ballads are more about the warning to people, or do you think it was for people to feel close to danger without actually touching it, or do you think what do you think those were back in the day?
I think it was all of the above.
a little bit of all of it, entertainment and a warning, social warning.
Yeah. I mean, I think a song is an easy way to convey a message. However, it is entertaining and catchy. So you remember, hey, don't do this because this could happen. You know what I mean? I think it's a good way to spread
Awareness.
awareness without
Before we had a day for it, like National Don't Kill Your
or
Spouse with an Axe Day.
without okay, so without creating mass hysteria within a community as well. You know what I mean? This song gets put out and you know it could be whatever, Jack the Ripper's out, you know, killing whoever. But and that's just an example. But you think, oh, maybe I shouldn't be out at this time, or maybe I should, you know, have an escort, or you know, whatever it may be.
And they were doing newspapers, they were doing print, they were doing posters, wanted posters. If you think about the 1800s, with the bank robbers and
Mhm.
everything else, all the different types of murders, people that were wanted,
Right.
still have wanted posters. Now they're still in the post office and they're still but they're digital too.
Right.
Just
Well,
things.
and let's be fair. I never mind. I just had a thought and it just fucking flew out of my head.
Many thoughts to come. You want to read the next segment there?
Yeah. So, and that's the piece that still matters. True crime lets people visit danger from a safe seat. In the 19th century, you weren't pressing play words on Spotify. You were still consuming a crime story in a repeatable format. That's important. A murder ballad was memorable because it had a rhythm, rhyme, and repetition and emotion. That's not far from what podcasts do now. A good podcast has a theme song. Ours is fucking banger, by the
That
way.
one.
Thanks, AC. A host voice, a structure, a hook, and a reason to keep listening. The medium changed. The skeleton stayed the same.
That's right.
So murder ballads turned real fear into a story. Print crime stories turned private horror into public conversation. People wanted details: who did it, why, how, and what happened next. And this early format created the same loop we see today: fear, curiosity, judgment, relief. So, yeah, go ahead.
No, please. I was going to comment on that, but go ahead. Finish up.
Go ahead.
Just like that Tool song I told you about last week, right?
Yeah.
When it's eye on the TV because tragedy thrills me. Whatever flavor it happens to be, like shot by the husband. You know, who put the poison in her tea? But we like to watch from a good safe distance. So we watch the whole world die. We can watch. I just want to watch.
Well, and I think we all, like to be onlookers. We're all voyeuristic in that respect. You know what I mean? I want to think I know better than the people actually investigating. I want to know the psychology. For me, that's how I feel. I want to know the psychology behind the crime. You know, why did you do it? You know, and the ones that don't give me that, I'm like, oh. I don't know.
Want more?
Yeah, I
More
do.
information.
Interview the criminal or more. I need to know. But I think we all want. It's like watching. I mean, especially back then, watching a TV show where you're,
Totally invested.
so many degrees of separation from the thrill, so to speak.
But safely.
Yes.
I want to be here behind glass, and I want to watch everything happen,
Mhm.
and then I don't want to be a part of it because it's NIMBY, not in my backyard, right? So that makes sense to you, Laurel?
Oh yeah. We want to see it, but we don't want to be involved with it. We just want to know about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I want to dissect it. I want to tell you what a bad job you're doing as an investigator and how I can do much better than you can, but I don't want to be there, right? I don't want to smell the blood. But come on, guys.
I couldn't handle it if I mean, not, I don't know for me, but most people couldn't handle it if they were actually
I'll
there.
throw up and pass out.
So,
we're done.
do you all, both of you, do you think that people are drawn to true crime because they want justice or because they want details that they probably shouldn't want?
Both. Again,
A little bit of both.
Yeah. Or some people just want to see maybe no justice, and they want to just blame the people who couldn't bring people to justice. Like if you're really on one side of it, and like all police, all fire is stupid, all on the payroll to not give a fuck, then yeah, you want to see them fail. Honestly, there's some people who just want to see the justice system fail because people want to reset, right? So, so yeah, that brings us to like newspapers, penny press, and sensational crime. So once newspapers became part of like the cheap way to consume this, and it's also something that's widespread, and crime became the product, right? So once crime happened, we realized that crime's never going to stop. This is an ever-ending, what is it called, a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? The murder ballad gave people that emotion to the version. The newspapers gave them the details. So here we have the song about to be, the song being sung about it, whatever, and then you have the periodical to follow along with. It's like the audiobook and the actual newspaper. So who was murdered, where the body was found, what did the suspect say, was there a trial, was there a confession, was the confession real, right? So many little parts to that. So there is where true crime starts the beginning of a public machine, right? So it's a machine that just like it was fed to it, and now it's like wildfire because we were interested in it already. It's just the medium caught up to us, and we were like, here it is, digestible and monetizable, which is the most important part.
Right.
Go ahead, Sam.
No, I just said right. Isn't my point?
Okay. Sorry.
I was just agreeing with you.
Okay, got you. So, and this is where we start seeing the uncomfortable part, right? So the uncomfortable part of this is that now, okay, so we're into it, right? So, but what happens if true crime stops? We just stop doing this? I guess so, right? We become a history podcast, and that's where it's kind of unsettling. We have to wait for things to happen to also comment on them. It's kind of morbid if you think about it. It's become information and exploitation pretty much too. So like on one side, people want to understand the danger. On the other side, someone's like tragedy becomes content, right? So we have to deal with that every time we do this. What still is the ethical problem now? We just upgraded to the delivery system, right? So people were like, ooh, ah, and then now it's like a couple of people waiting around for something to happen and being like, oh, did you see the news? That's fucked up to a certain extent.
Well, the public wants villains and victims.
Of course.
It's never gonna stop, because if you think back all the way back to like even the 1700s or ancient Greek, I mean, there's always been murders. There's always been true crime. There's always been something, a crime of passion, a crime, think about it back during when they were trying to figure out surgery and they were stealing bodies to do surgery.
Corpses. I couldn't work on anybody. How am I supposed to figure out how to treat this if I don't get a fresh body?
With Da Vinci was, stealing bodies so they could figure out how the body worked, and
and even so, on conversely, I mean, when they thought they had the culprit, whether it was, I mean, way back when, when it was really, I think he did it, and let's, hang him, but quite literally, the executions and the executions and things were public. I mean, people wanted to see the criminal get, the justice for the crime.
Right. crime.
And how often were they right though? So it's just because one side says
we
it.
don't know that.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
they probably weren't. However, I mean, hangings and executions were public. It was like going to the theater. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah, kids there, like kids on the shoulder, like
Throw the fruit or whatever, and it's I don't know. There's this sick fascination with all of that.
Went all the way back to the Romans where they would stone you to death.
it was, or put you in
Absolutely.
the Coliseum.
Yeah, put you to fight the lions and shit.
Yeah, two
True
giant
crime
gorillas
is
at the
never
time.
going to end because it's always been historically, it's always been there,
Yeah.
and we want to always find out. It's because we want to see behind the curtain of that brain. What makes people tick? What were you thinking? How could you, a John Wayne Gacy and
Right.
the guy that would
Ed
dominate.
Gein,
Yeah.
Dahmer, Ed Gein. We're gonna watch we're gonna watch a podcast together of ours. We did with Peter Dupas, and I think that you're gonna.
Yeah,
really,
Dupas was
this is
tough.
really
And Dean was, I mean, I don't know. There's so many. I am very fascinated with what makes people tick. You know what I mean? Why? The whys.
The wise.
Sometimes it's just a severely unwell person. You know what I mean?
But
But
usually triggered off by trauma as a child or exposure to
sometimes
something.
not.
Sometimes it's just
Sometimes
like
not. Sometimes the wires are just crossed and we don't know. But that fascinates me. That's why that's kind of why we do that.
exactly right.
That's what drives me to, do this. But it's crazy.
And you're right. Let me piggyback off that. So the public wants villains and victims, like you said. They want to the cases flattened by the characters. The families can be forced to relive trauma when cases become entertainment.
Which sucks.
Right?
Yeah.
And it sucks. And we've had plenty of guests on our show prior to this that we talked to many parents. We talked to people who were not only this has happened to them in their home, their children. We've spoken to criminals. We spoke to a correctional officer that was having an affair with one of the inmates.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it does become entertainment after a while. Of course it does, and that's what TikTok's for. Modern criticism of true crime often centers on how victims and families are treated, right? And Time Magazine reported that on the emotional cost of the true crime true crime stories can have on the victims and families themselves, especially when stories are retold, entertainment, and families feel re-traumatized. So this can happen again. We can just pull that to the surface. They can be doing better. But again, this is if somebody got acquitted, right? So what happens if somebody gets acquitted? There's no justice, right? You kind of feel that open wound forever.
I'll tell you what, though. Was it Karen Reed in Boston, where her boyfriend, who was a cop, ended up dead, and she ended up with the second trial was acquitted. And honestly, going into the story, I was like, I don't know, because here's why.
She looks like a
was
bitch.
unapologetically, this wasn't me, and she again, she wasn't the stereotypical
openly remorseful
for me, but she knew she was very strong and assertive woman, which the public doesn't typically take kindly to.
We don't like that. We don't.
Which fucking infuriates me, by the way. I mean, we can, again, but she was so much a part of her own with the lawyers, working with them to get herself, she knew what she didn't do and things like that. But public opinion would have crucified her. But she, fought, and that was something that I think was, we do many stories, but seeing that where we always kind of come in with our preconceived notions, it was nice to kind of go, oh wait, I kind of thought she did it, and then now I know she didn't. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, the facts lead where they lead, and just because there's something that would drive me crazy in the last show was you guys would say it sits in the eyes. Look at his eyes. I'm like, what?
Sometimes it is.
But the eyes could deceive. They could deceive.
Yeah, you can deceive, but if you look at a lot of the serial killers or habitual offenders, a lot of times there is like a void.
If you look at the Miranda law, the pictures of sex offenders, they all have a similar look in their eyes. It's unsettling. You're just
It
like,
is.
it's very, yeah, it's, what do they say? The eyes are the window to the soul. And some of these people are soulless.
It's true. No soul
Agreed.
whatsoever. Yeah.
It's funny. Earlier today, the county that I live in, my boss came in and goes, "Oh my gosh, they have a this county inmates a thing on Facebook, and literally it's just mugshots and what they've been arrested for." There's a disclaimer on the page. Hey, they're innocent until proven guilty. You know,
Sure.
everything.
Sure.
A couple of them. I mean, so here's what I do because I'm me, I guess. I go in and I'm like, okay, I bet I can guess what they were for.
I
And
do a podcast.
I was pretty accurate. But the sex offenders and the violent crimes ones, it was in the eyes. And I was like, oof, that's scary because I tested my own like thinking. You know what I mean? I don't know. Again,
The
until
meth heads with the sores on their face, those don't count.
Yeah, that's meth.
what was that?
The ones that, you know, they're in there for meth and drugs.
Oh no, those don't count. Yeah, you can tell that for
You
sure.
can,
They've been up for a week. They've been up for a week. They don't have time to test offend
those
anyone.
for sure, you know, without a doubt. But some of the ones, you know, the sex offender or, you
Right.
know, or child, you know,
molesters, yes,
yeah.
definitely.
I was like, oof, you know, that person seems creepy to me. And then I was like, oh, yep, that makes sense. Which is odd that came up today. And I thought, well, maybe at some
Well,
point we'll
see?
take a look at them.
Everything's connected.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, just to bring up, like you were saying about, what about, you know, the trauma that it brings to the families once somebody's acquitted.
Yeah.
You like, look at OJ, the OJ trial.
Right.
You know, he did not live a great life after it. He did not.
No.
Thankfully, he repeated his shenanigans in Las Vegas and ended up in the Clark County jail until he died.
Guys, he wrote a book that says, "What if I did it?"
He did do
How
it.
narcissistic is that to be like, well, I want to get so far away from that, but no, he wrote a book saying, like, what if how would I have I done it to get away with it? Like this and like this and like this. It's like saying,
You and I were in high school when that trial was going on.
yeah, maybe four.
I remember it was my freshman year of high school, and I remember it being in our commons area after, you know, during lunch, you know, you'd eat lunch and you'd go out and hang out in the commons area or whatever. And they had the fucking trial on the TVs. And I remember when he was acquitted, just it was a mixed bag of, you know, some kids were like, holy shit, he actually fucking did it, right? And the other kids were like, no, he fucking didn't. You know, it was insane and how dividing it was, you know.
I'm older, so I was living in Orange County working in a law firm that had about 40 attorneys, 45 attorneys. And we brought, when the jury came back in, we wheeled the TV, the big ass TV into the conference room. We all went, and our entire day, everybody stopped. We even put the phones on pause, and we watched the verdict. And all of us were just, because it's within a benefit, it has to be, everybody has to agree that.
Yeah.
And
well, and he had good lawyers. I mean, they were able to, you know, put
the
the shadow of doubt in their mind.
Has anybody ever put a latex glove on and then try to put it inside a piece of hard, wet, piece of leather that's been wet and
Hold
hardened?
on, we do the sex reviews at the end.
Oh my God. So yeah. So, but you know, so we got to see firsthand how an acquittal affects a family. I did find out later that the civil trials brought by the families against him, his homeowner's insurance paid for the attorneys.
Oh, wonderful.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Lord.
Yeah. So
Easy.
that's what happens when you work for lawyers. You find out all this fun stuff. So
Who'd have thought? I mean, I'm in.
he had a liability insurance policy umbrella on top of his regular homeowners.
Wow.
That paid for his defense.
That's insane.
Sam, you want to take segment 3?
Sure.
80s,
So, hold on. Why is it saying that? So,
Because we flipped it.
yeah. No. So in the 1980s and 90s, were not really the era of audio blogs in the way that we understand them now. The language, that language belongs more to the early internet and early podcast period. But in the 80s and 90s, absolutely built the bridge. This was the era of call-in radio. That was huge.
Coast to coast.
Tabloid TV, court TV, true crime paperbacks, public access shows, message boards, Usenet groups, and then early downloadable audio experiments. I mean, let's be fair, to the masses, internet wasn't really available until like mid 90s, right? I mean, in barely AOL.
And that's not what you're not using your 30 minutes of Prodigy to do that.
Right. So the better label is in the 1980s and 90s, talk radio, tabloid crime, court TV. Court TV was huge, right? Or it still is.
Yeah, we quoted it in the last show, yeah.
Early internet crime communities. So, I mean, I think that's kind of where it goes. So that matters because podcasting didn't appear from nowhere. By the time podcasts had arrived, the audience was already trained. They wanted their information quick and easy. People were already used to host talking through crime. They were already used to sterilized courtroom coverage, and they were already used to strangers debating cases online. I mean, let's think back. I mean, 2020, I mean, that's not where we go for our true crime news now, but 2020 was huge, in the 80s and 90s. I mean, we all watched on Friday nights. At least I did. My parents were like, "Oh, you shouldn't stay up for this," but I had to. All of those things.
Was OJ the first one for us since at our age, in our
I think
late
the
Gen X?
biggest one. But I mean, how many 2020 cases were there? I mean, Geraldo
Rivera. My
did
God.
many.
That's cool.
We had, I mean, again, those, anytime a type of crime would show up on those 2020, 60 minutes type of shows where we all were waiting on bated breath to see what happened. I mean, JonBenet Ramsey was one.
Oh gosh, Unsolved Mysteries. What a huge show!
Or,
Huge show for
America's
me.
Most Wanted. Those types of things were prolific back then.
Big time.
So
Don't
Big
forget
time.
Cops.
It was huge.
Cops, bad boys,
Oh my
bad
God.
boys.
I mean, that was a real life look at what happens
Started doing it live.
Yeah.
They started doing episodes later on. They did the live shots
yeah,
where it
Crazy.
wasn't edited. I'm like, whoa.
right. It's amazing.
Yeah. Wow. So I'll take on segment 4 here
Okay.
as we move along. So segment 4, 2004 podcasting arrives. We're here. We made it.
So year my daughter was born.
2004. It's a good year. So the Daily Source Code, which is pretty much the first podcast, 2004, not 2003. Adam Curry was major podcasting pioneers. Podcasting history is very messy. As much as it's completely archived, we really don't know. And there were earlier RSS feeds for audio experiments and internet style radio before it was actually a podcast like ours, right? Wired covered podcasting from 2004 and described Adam Curry's Daily Source Code as one of the shows that helps define the medium. So the clean version is, in 2004, podcasting becomes recognizable as a medium, and like shows like the Daily Source Code helping out to popularize it. And Sam, you want to take the next part?
Sure. And what made podcasting different was control. Before podcast, you could catch a show when it aired. With podcasts, the listener controlled the time. You could listen while driving, while cleaning, walking, working, or pretending to work.
Pretending.
I'll tell you what, I listen to podcasts all the time in the car.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
It's literally the only time. Or if I'm on a walk or whatever. That made true crime dangerous in a new way. Not morally dangerous, but emotionally sticky. Now the story was in your ear, private, close, almost like somebody whispering the case to you. Podcrash. Words are so hard sometimes. Podcast created intimacy. The host felt like a person you knew. Long form audio allowed more detail than TV segments. Listeners could binge or follow weekly. True crime became part of daily routine. So as we think about it, is true crime more powerful in audio because your imagination has to do the crime scene work?
So yeah, it's absolutely. It's like a book that you're reading now instead of you can't see it, right? Sometimes now you can see it. They show you pictures or clippings like we do. We'll show you actual evidence. However, yeah, this back in the day where there wasn't like a companion to go along with it. Your brain was, and you're putting it together. Like, what if I would have done that? You're kind of putting yourself in there like an echo of the crime. I think that.
I agree.
So, true crime with Burl Bearer. This is an important part of this because now we're getting to the dedicated true crime podcast, right? So, true crime with Burl Bearer is often cited as one of the first, or if not the first, dedicated true crime podcast launching in 2008. The important thing about this date is that it's the shift, right? It's like now we're locked into like how Sam just described it and how important part of our day it is, right? This is our true crime kind of starter date where it's not just an occasional topic, it's a constant. So before that, crime could appear inside general talk shows, interviews, news podcasts, but dedicated true crime really made its arrival at that time. So come here to get crime stories, come here for the dark stuff, come here for the cases. And the people who are really into it, this is their Valhalla, right? This is it.
Right.
There were dark tourists before that, which we'll talk about next week, right?
Absolutely. Yes. On our next show, yes.
Yeah, next shift for sure.
So yeah, that shift matters because audiences like containers. People often or want to know what they're getting. A dedicated true crime podcast says, "This is the room. This is the subject. This is the tone." And once that exists, that the genre can build habits: weekly listeners, case formats, cold opens, theme music, and then host chemistry and research styles, ethics, and fan communities. Dedicated genre shows create a loyal audiences. Listeners return for the host as much as the case.
That's true.
I mean, honestly, for me, if I'm listening to a true crime podcast or watching one, if the host isn't engaging, I don't want to hear it. I could love the case, but I'm like, I'm going to tune out. And then the podcast becomes a ritual, which is the case for quite a few.
Which is the case for Jamie.
Yeah. And then true crime podcasting becomes less like news report and more like a shared investigation.
Exactly.
I'll tell you, I mean, there are so many internet sleuths that interject themselves into new cases.
You can't fuck around these days. The internet will get you.
With the Idaho College murders, it happened with the Gabby Petito. So many in recent memory where internet sleuths and podcasters like us decided to go on scene and try to solve the crime themselves. So
That's true.
So do you think listeners come back for the case, the host, or the feeling the show gives them? To both.
Well, again, all three, like all of them. They come back for obviously you, Sam, so they can hear you talk, not me.
Well, because words are hard.
Sometimes, yeah. So they tolerate me.
How Sam fucks this up this time.
They tolerate me to get to you. It's okay. But yeah, people come back because it's the delivery system too. It's like they can also look at this themselves. They can.
Right.
Some people just don't have time. They're like, I want condensed information. That's why information for us is important, right? We can have a good time, but people aren't really here to watch us have a good time. That's a byproduct of doing what we do, but we have to give information, and that's what gives people the want to come back. So yeah, I think that. What do you think, Laurel?
Yeah. It's getting information. It's just kind of being able to go, I never thought about it that way. Getting new insight, different version of the same thing, but just a different perspective for different things.
And you can comment. Like you can literally people can leave a comment, and then now you're part of it. You're part of the investigation, right? So you can come to a live stream and comment right now and be like, oh.
And you're like, well, I thought this might have happened. Did anybody take that avenue?
That's right. Some people could leave some insightful information that could break it wide open. You know,
And then with podcasts now, everybody wants everything instantaneous.
Mhm.
We don't want to wait for something. So,
Absolutely not. No.
and so that's why a lot of the crimes, the way they're going and the investigations have changed, because guess what? People have Ring doorbells.
Hmm.
People have security motion cameras on their house. I know that if you registered your Ring camera when I worked fire investigation, if you allowed us to access your camera, I could go and see your Ring camera without your permission because
Right.
you already registered. So
It's incredible. Yeah.
everything
And,
is so instantaneous now, and there's so many. And let's face it, criminals are dumb.
well, we were talking about it last week, right, Sam? Sorry.
No, you're
What
good.
we're saying was, why are there less serial killers now? Well, that's the reason, right? Ring cameras. Everybody has a cell phone. Kind of people want to, but they're kind of like,
harder
where
to
do I start?
get away.
Because it's like so hard to.
They get caught sooner before
Yeah.
it's a serial because
Before it's fun. Yeah.
we have DNA.
Right.
Mhm.
We have we can run your fingerprints through a database that's
Endless.
good grief. We got
And it's getting bigger now. Facial recognition, AI, all that is going to be. It's going to be.
I was just talking about that with somebody. Like, somebody said, it was probably last night. You can walk into Walmart now, and they know you've been there. You know what I mean? Because
Exactly.
facial
and they come
recognition.
back
And your phone has a ping thing. You
Yeah.
know, like where have you been? Mhm.
I went through customs and I have like global entry and all this other stuff, but I just stood in front of a camera and I went, "Thanks, Laurel. Welcome back."
Right.
I didn't
Creepy.
type anything, push my finger down, nothing. It
Right.
just so
If your face can open up your camera, your phone, I think we're
Passport.
beyond the looking glass.
Yeah.
So, starting to wrap this up, right? Like, so there was the first true crime podcast, the one that I totally got me hooked into this was Serial. We talked about it a little bit earlier. It was made by My American Life, and Serial was it followed the murder of Haymin Lee, and the conviction of Adnan Syed. And Adnan Syed was this guy who was, facing big time jail time, prison time for this going on as a young kid. And what made it different was the structure was one case told across one platform, across one medium, and people waited for this with bated breath. I know I would wait every week for this to drop on Apple Podcasts. Who's dinging? Is it me?
I don't know.
Okay,
Oh,
so
it's fine.
sorry if it is. It didn't feel like a completed story. It felt like you were figuring it out as you go, because it was like it was an investigation as it was happening too. And there was phone calls with them in prison, so it made it super compelling. Pitchfork reported the serial as reached over 5 million downloads and streams early in its run, with about 1.5 million listeners per episode, which was that's better than TV
That's
ratings.
insane. Yeah.
Right? Mhm. And it wasn't just here's a killer. It was like here's memory, evidence, doubt, investigation, journalism, race, class, policing, prosecution, and the problem of certainty.
Right.
So that gave listeners permission to feel like they weren't just consuming a crime, they were thinking. And this is a shift. This is a powerful click in people's minds, because the crime, it felt dirty sometimes, but other times it felt really serious. But at times you were on Adnan's side, and sometimes you were on the girl's side, and because you see from every aspect, unbiased,
Mhm.
but it was presented dramatically. Sam?
Yeah, so Serial used a serialized storytelling like TV, but each episode ended with uncertainty. Like, I can't wait to hear the next one. The audience became part of the investigation culture. Reddit forums and online communities turned listening into participation, and it helped prove podcasts could create massive cultural moments. The Guardian later noted that after Serial, true crime became one of the most listened to podcast genres, with other investigative series following similar formats. So do you think, did Serial elevate true crime, or did it just make people feel better about consuming something they already wanted?
Both. Again,
I mean,
good questions. They're good questions, but I guess both, because I want to feel better about consuming it, because I don't want to feel like a scumbag because I'm always thinking about this. Because ultimately there's a dead person involved here, and it was horrible, and there's parents and all that. And I have some empathy, but at the same time, it did elevate it to like the main the main platform, which is
I
like,
have to say, I have a bunch of empathy. I don't know how many of documentaries and true crime stories that I've watched or listened to that I end up bawling or, just feeling some sort of way about them. I think I have a little bit more empathy than you, AC, and I hate to say that. You're a very empathetic person. You and I are very similar, but sometimes you're like, you're very good at playing devil's advocate and thinking.
have I done it on Thought Brokers?
No, you have not. But in thinking in you have a great way of kind of seeing both sides
Or figuring out what will make you mad and then asking
right,
that.
that's true. But you do have a good way of being able to go, okay, what about this? I'm not saying that I'm more empathetic than you, but a lot of times I do cry, just a touch. Not much though. You and I are very similar. But
I would get out of body for those questions. I'd be like, all right,
I know,
turn to
I
somebody
know,
else.
I don't know how you did it. But I think a lot of people want to or do feel empathetic when watching these stories and things. And I think in a lot of respects, people, different sorts of people can feel empathetic for different sides. So for me, I'm almost always empathetic for the victim. But I think some people watch and give themselves permission to feel empathy for the perpetrator.
Just ask yourself one thing: what was she wearing? Well, did she want this to happen?
No, stop. What do you think, Laurel?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
It's just the world's a stage. We're
Yeah.
just all watching it.
I
We don't know
agree.
who's who. We don't know who's who. We don't. I'm going to skip to segment 8
Okay.
because it fits perfectly with what you said, right? So this is where we have to be careful, right? We have to be careful because true crime is not fiction. These people are real. Real families, real grief, real bodies, real consequences. Like as I mentioned earlier, the danger is when the case becomes a campfire story and the victim becomes the prop. We have to be very careful. I've always warned, we were laughing, having fun, drinking, and then we'd have a guest on and who actually felt trauma, and then we turn into like these serious people.
Right.
Because we have to give them the grace and the reverence that they need, because this is fucked up. Yeah. To a certain point, yeah, we can do that, but we also have a responsibility to speak about the dead. When we speak about dead criminals, fuck them. We roast the shit out of them, right? But that's where the true crime really becomes the rot from the inside. It can rot people, and that's why people kind of resent it a little bit. So, Sam?
Yeah, so the audience has responsibility too, because demand shapes supply. If people reward the most grotesque, exploitative, dramatic version of the story, then that's what gets made. But if people reward careful storytelling, victim-centered work, and actual investigative value, then the genre can be better. So say the victim's name, not the killer. Avoid glamorizing the killer. I mean, how many times was it that Wade Wilson?
Fuck Wade Wilson. Yeah.
Who was horrible.
You've seen him now. He's fat.
Is he? I love that. I love
Big
that.
and fat. He's so cute.
I love
But
that.
everybody loves him because he's so fucking adorable.
But everybody, because he had a good looking face, which I still don't get, but whatever. People,
People are people.
glamorized him. Don't turn murderers into celebrities. Be careful with speculation. I think that's something that we do well, is that we don't go over the top of speculation. We can say our opinions, but we don't go, oh, well, it had to be this. And then remembering surviving families may hear the episode. And I mean,
I always have it in the back of my mind.
that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. So can
We
true
get that
crime?
popular.
We did, and
But we have had some actual real life. I mean, we have spoken to the families of victims, and we have spoken to
moms, dads, families.
children. We've spoken to Barb, the district attorney, about cases she's had to endure.
On TikTok, I reached out to Steven. Remember Steven? And I said, hey, we have a new podcast. Other than the one that you did, we'd love to have you on this one.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can do that. And then let's so can true crime be an ethical part of entertainment, or does entertainment always create a moral problem when it comes to this subject matter? Can it be moral entertainment, or is it always going to be a little grimy?
It's always going to be a little grungy.
I think it's a slippery slope. Yeah. I
It's
mean,
grimy. I think it's
yeah.
grimy. It depends on us, right? I think it depends on how we take the subject matter into account.
Right. And I can't say we're, us
Not perfect.
specifically, we're not perfect.
No.
Sometimes salacious stuff makes you, it's fun to talk about and be salacious about, and
Gypsy Rose.
human nature. But you're right. It's grimy.
It's grimy. It's grimy. Yeah. So I mean, that's pretty much where we're at. It's so to wrap up this part, right? So to wrap up that, and then we have we're about 1 minute away, but I mean, I have a sex machine to review.
Okay.
So that's not so in saying this is all ethical and stuff, right? We talk about the dead, and then we talk about a fuck machine. We want everything to happen. So, so let's recap a little bit. So, remember the 19th century was murder ballads, broadsides, early print crime stories. Late 19th to 20th century, we're looking at newspapers, pulp crime, radio, paperbacks, and television. Remember the used to watch you're watching an old timey thing, and it's like they go to the movies to get the news. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
I hear our boys just got to this, whatever, right?
Newsreels.
Those
Yeah.
newsreels, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But it was all propaganda. Our boys are doing great. They're killing the Nazis. And then we got to the 1990s with tabloid TV, court TV, the early internet, crime communities that were garnishing online. People were just congealing into these groups of like-minded people, which you could do, remember chat rooms.
Those are so predatory, by the way.
So predatory. I was predatorized. I'm sure
I know I was.
Yeah. Somebody like, hey, little boy.
All right.
So 2004, we got the podcasting becomes recognizable with a show like Daily Source Code, and then helping to popularize the format. And then 2008, dedicated true crime podcast. Words are hard. Took its own lane, and the shows like the Burl Bearer show took off. And in 2014, everything changed with Serial, turns into a serialized true crime podcast, dumping it into the mainstream and making it a cultural force.
And the reason that it worked is simple. True crime was always a story people wanted. Podcasting just made it intimate, portable, and endless. The campfire became a microphone. The murder ballad became the RSS feed. Sorry, an RSS feed. And the newspaper became a voice in your ear. Same human hunger, sharper delivery system.
And if the voice is like this, like, well, what happened was.
What had happened was.
Wow. Deliver it to me like that, Daddy, right? Mm-hmm. So, right.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
It's a tale as old as time, to be fair. Everybody, I mean, now that it's at our fingertips, quite literally, I think it is taking over. And again, it's like looking at an accident when you go down the highway. Everybody wants to see it because, again, it's not them.
Rubbernecking.
About that, yeah. And everyone thinks that they has their own thoughts on how they could do it better or what they would have done, or wanting to know the psyche of the person who committed said crime. So,
do you guys think that there are people in this world that commit crimes in order to perpetuate true crime?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Simply for that?
Yes.
Like, this cannot die.
I think for their own notoriety, for their own sick, for getting notification, notoriety,
Validation.
not even validation, just like superstar status, because it's so easy to. Because we have influencers. They're just everyday people, and there's kids that are emulating these rotten people because they're an influencer. kids don't want to work regular jobs anymore because they're going to be a famous influencer.
I mean, I can tell you, my youngest daughter, when she was younger, was like, I'm going to be a TikToker, or I'm going to be a YouTuber. I mean, she tried real hard. I'm like,
It's hard to be.
it's not, you know, and we do this, I think for the love of it, not so much for the notoriety, but
That will come. That will come.
I mean, it'll, whatever, if it does, it does. But I enjoy our Friday nights hanging out and talking true crime.
Yep.
But yeah, my kid, I swear, she was like, "Mom, I'm gonna be an influencer." I'm like,
What you gonna influence?
Why
What
don't
that
you
mean?
advise on how to pick up your bedroom?
yeah, exactly.
First, make your fucking bed, and maybe we'll talk about being influenced with it, right?
Yeah.
So, sorry about this, Laurel. With all the respect in the world, we have to talk about a fuck machine now.
We do 1-star review.
Oh my God. Okay, cannot wait.
We were gonna do 1-star reviews. So
We already watched 1-star movies the other day.
nice.
They're fan-flippantastic.
It has nothing to do with you. This has no reflect on Laurel. Obviously, it's just us, right? So
It is.
I'm in it to win it, you guys. I'm game. Let's do
let's do this shit, right?
do
That's
it.
right. So
Let's do this.
should we show it? We should show it, right?
Can you share your
Of
screen?
course I can.
Okay.
Give me just a moment here
I will
to
add it up
situate
here.
everything. So we're gonna go share, and then we're gonna hit this, which
Is it like kind of like a pocket pussy? I don't know.
is kind
Oh,
of
we've done those.
kind of
1-star reviews on those.
I'm like,
All right, here it is.
How's that looking? How's that looking?
Oh.
That's the
Oh.
one? No, it's this one. Right? Which screen am I sharing? I have a couple
You're
of them.
screening
says bundle and save. I don't. What is it?
Bundle and save. Let's get
Does
a
it
couple of
come
them.
with a bucket of lube? Oh my God! Does it come with a bucket of lube? Because
It's gonna
off
get
to.
if you act now. Yeah. If you fucking act now. Share this one instead. Got it. Okay, so
Okay.
let's take a look at it. This thing is crazy looking.
Oh,
Where
Lord
is
in heaven.
Where's it? God damn it. Why isn't the picture gone?
Oh,
The picture's gone. Okay, hold on. There it is.
Oh.
Man,
Okay.
look at that.
Do you bundle it with the actual dildo that attaches to it? Is
It looks
that
like
the
it's-
thing?
I guess so. And you just
I'm
It comes with a dildo.
choose your own dildo. Let's find out. So it's $419, and it's called the Hismith Premium 3.0 sex machine with click clock system, whatever the fuck that is.
What's
Wire controlled love machine with dildo. Black.
it should have said click cock.
Click
Oh,
clock.
it
Is it click
should
clock?
have.
Click clock. That's what it sounds when you put the dildo in. Click clock. So it's about this item. It's a high-powered motor, 100 watts. Fuck. Are you tired of your pussy not
Holy
being annihilated? Turbo motor delivers plenty of power while keeping quiet, so nobody will hear you in the next room. Right. So let's look
You
at.
told me you were brushing your hair.
Look at you. You just can't wait to start. Distinctive journey with Hismith, right? Here you go. Let's go, baby. Look at this fucking thing. It goes into a bunch of different modes, right? If you wanted to get thrusted down on, or if you want to back up into it, however you like. Yeah. Doggy. All right. So
Look, she looks so happy.
she's ecstatic about it. Ecstatic about it. So a couple of 1-stars.
Do it.
So you guys see this? Okay, so you can take the next one there.
Waste
So-
of money you can't get back.
And yeah, we can't. We don't look at these beforehand. So
No.
and we read it verbatim. I'll do the first one. So waste of money you can't get back. Laurel, you're gonna read one too. Are you out of your mind? Yes, it's amazing. Yes, it made me think I never needed to deal with a needy man again. However, I have realized that I am incredibly allergic to the phallus. I spend over $400 and I realize that I can't use it. I go return it and I am faced with no return policy on this item. Sorry, it was in your shit, dude. Really?
Used it.
Use it. Like, yes, you can just use, give it to your dog. I'm sorry, but over $400 and you don't accept returns to 5 question marks. Like, I'm sorry that I can't control my body by being freaking allergic. In all caps, pretty hefty price, and every piece off hardware is lubricated with something that should definitely not be touching your skin. It's only as you start putting it together that you realize the demonstrator in the subpar photos is wearing gloves. Yes. Yeah, it can bang your lights out. Yeah, it can bang your lights out. But please believe that the cons far outweigh the pros in this. If it doesn't work for you, too bad. You're out $400. Just saying. Tinder's cheaper and the disappointment level is the same.
But herpes is forever.
Herpes
Yes,
is forever.
exactly.
That's right.
Allergies, you can take a fucking Benadryl.
Yeah, it's all good.
All right.
Yeah, can it bang your lights out? Fuck yeah.
Sure can. All right. So works great, then breaks and becomes uncontrollable.
It's an annihilator mode.
All right. So purchase the cabled remote version. A unit broke during second use and not in a good way. Unit abruptly went from low speed all the way to max without the remote changing the speed. Now permanently stuck on full speed regardless of input from the remote and basically unusable in that condition. Figured this is just a bad unit and contacted customer service via that conversation. A replacement unit was arranged. The second unit ended up with exactly the same issue, but lasted a bit longer than the first. During this time, the product performed admirably and surprisingly, and was surprisingly quiet, even at full power. Now it only runs at full power. Words and my old eyes. Now it only runs at full power. Contacted customer service and they refunded the purchase. Well, which is better than the gal with the allergies.
You should talk to the girl up top.
She should just say it just is stuck on full power and then she'll get her money back. I will not be receiving a third unit as I feel that these are unsafe since both failures resulted in permanent uncontrolled maximum power.
Maximum power.
The fun part is that 12 people found this helpful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for doing this. Thank you.
Thank you. I will not order this crazy.
My vagina was going to be able to be torn up if not for this lady. For sure. Laurel?
Oh my God. Missing parts when arrived. Beware. My package arrived in Amazon box. My notification said handed directly to customer. Untrue, as it was left on the front porch.
Fuckers.
Seems suspect, especially during active COVID.
Yeah.
Within Amazon box, the original product was in an opened and retaped with a torn, ripped up, and black carrying bag. Poor materials for heavy items. Not the deal breaker, though.
She was good. She was okay with that.
She was okay, yeah. So it was a little tattered and torn, but okay.
It said "fuck machine" on the side. Her neighbor saw it. It's okay.
Yeah, no worries.
And it's COVID.
COVID, nobody saw. Missing items from the obviously already open box. The control mode missing. The dildo missing.
Fuck.
The product itself looked like it's a nice and good quality, but completely unusable since no controls was included and should have been in the box. I don't know who removed it or if it was somehow left out during packaging or if an Amazon employee decided to steal a few parts for other boxes so they could complete their machine for themselves.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I'll take these parts. These are scavenging parts for my own dildo machine.
Yes, this was a gift for my adult handicapped son. And
what?
Sadly, he doesn't understand due to no controller. It is unusable. Dissatisfied customer.
Hold on. There's so much to unpack there.
You said so many things. Hold on a second. This is a gift from my adult handicapped.
From
four. How handicapped? What to what level? How handicapped?
I have so many questions.
All those questions just went across my brain and I can't
Is
stop.
he mentally handicapped? Is he physically handicapped? Is he missing a leg?
Is he a paraplegic?
Is he paraplegic?
He doesn't feel shit from the waist down anyway. What are we doing? Okay.
That is a lot to unpack.
Fuck. That's a lot. It's a lot. These are
It went from being ripped, tattered, and torn to missing the dildo.
at the
Kid.
end. She was like,
Who
"Look, this
buys
is
a dildo machine or like a fuck
just-
machine for their kid?"
they're
And
handicapped.
her name, we forgot her name, is Mistress Kitty.
Mistress Kitty.
Oh.
That's my mom. My mom's name is Mistress Kitty, and I'm the disabled child.
Well, it's definitely mental then.
Yeah.
One more time. This is okay. So we have. This was at the end. This is a gift for my adult handicapped son, and sadly, he doesn't understand due to no controller. And he's like, "Mom, I want to use it," and he's like, "You can't because the controller's like, I don't get it.
And it has no dildo. It's
I
just
want
a
fuck.
pipe.
I want fuck." So, okay. Okay. So, I'm sorry, sweetheart. I just can't get it to work.
So poke your eye out, kid.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's a straight pipe at that point.
Yeah, dude. She's gonna get a banana.
Hey, just because he's been jacking his ass up to the spigot on the side of the house all week.
We're gonna have to. Yeah, she found that, and she's like, "We're gonna have to correct this. I'll order you a fuck machine. Just don't stop fucking the house. Stop fucking the spigot."
Stop fucking the faucet on the side of
Mama,
the house.
it feels good, Mama. Some assembly is required before the required assembly. Oh, this is a man, by the way. Let's. By what I can tell here, it's a man.
Oh yeah.
This is what makes it readable. Bunter, like bunt cake, but bunter.
Yeah, bunter.
Some reassembly is required before required assembly. Whoever assembled this unit got most of the pieces mounted backwards. So before I could use it, a man, put that in your mind.
It's okay.
I had to take it up. Of course, it's fine. It's fine, but I want you to see it in your mind. I had to take it apart just to get the parts to line up properly. I was only able to use it during the unit once before control box wiring failed. There seems to be a problem with this machine.
Mm-hmm.
Again, to do the bad workmanship, there's no stain relief on the wires. What stain? The wires allowing for the connections inside the control box to be pulled loose, leading to this failure. A dual leg design. What? The stand is another flaw. It pulls, spin, twist, and shrink, making it hard to keep the unit in one place. I'm just picturing this in my mind, and that guy
feeling like it's doing like a
bending over.
Yeah.
Most of the screws worked. They're way loose in the first and only.
I think this person used it on full power when it wasn't supposed to be.
I need more power.
He just needs to go back to the glory holes.
More
Yes.
power.
They're a winner every time.
Endless power.
Oh my
I
God.
wish
20 people found it helpful.
20. Yeah. I wish I spent more money. On one of those more expensive units. I think I got what I paid for, which is hopefully will be salvage cost and recycled metal to junk it. He's going to junk it because he used it the first and he was like, you know what? It's coming apart.
This goes to show people will pay anything to get off.
And that's cheap for him. He's like, I wish I would have gotten one of those more expensive
Well, no,
machines,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, for me, I'd be like $419. Fuck that shit. I'm not, I can do it myself.
I got a floor jack in the back of my car.
Right.
Yeah. Dude, just get yourself on the end of a vacuum cleaner. One of those fucking something. You want to go again, Sam?
Sure. Poor quality, broke first use. This is from JD in 2022. Locking mechanism on the legs is extremely poor quality in design. Broke on my first use. Now I can't keep the legs locked into position, so it's entirely unusable. I used to have a plow. And thought I could save a few bucks. Sorry.
Get this instead.
And get this one instead. Big mistake. Spend extra money for the plow, which I feel like we need to look.
We need to review the plow next.
Yes. This machine also requires all these special attachments and arms, whereas the plow uses common size hardware and basic all thread. Very much regret choosing this brand.
Fuck you, hi, whatever. What's your name?
Gotta go with the plow. This guy's name is JD.
You get to choose. Would you like to read Colleen or RP? You choose.
Let's go with Colleen.
Okay.
Because she was a verified purchase in November of 22.
Nice.
Received a defective product Had to fight Amazon for nearly 2 hours to get a refund, which is probably more than what she used on the machine.
Right. 4 minutes, broke it.
4 minutes. Tried to plug in. I tried to plug it in. Would not turn on. Would not respond at all, like her husband.
Hence the machine.
Tried to contact company for help. Could not get it through anybody on the website. Was told no one was available. Try again another day. I did a lot of research before I tried to buy this product. Apparently, not enough. There is a large problem with the remote not working.
That seems to be an underlying issue here.
Aside from true crime, we also uncover the problems with the patterns that we see in sex machines, and this happens to be a common problem. The remote control needs to do better with do fucking better.
People just want to get,
and now we need to, now we need to find the plow.
Yes,
exactly. Now we're gonna get the plow, right? Exactly.
Next week, the plow.
Yeah, and stay tuned next week as we review the plow and Dark Tourist. Last one. This product functions amazing. The reason this is getting 1-star review is within days of purchase, the wire for the speed control attached.
That is the issue.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It fucks me the way I want. But the wire got, kind of messed up here. So the wire for the speed control detached. This made the wire begin to overheat, which might be good.
I wouldn't.
And fail. I'm stuck with a machine I cannot use, and I want to use it so fucking bad, and I do. I bought it.
I can't wait I couldn't wait until somebody has to investigate. Is that a belly button? Or just
Yep, look at that. An exposed wire. Do better, guys. Do better.
You're right. It looks like it's on a belly, right?
Can't wait until somebody has to investigate that.
And
it'll probably be us. The plow, sex machine.
Well, and I apologize. I cannot be on the episode next week. If you and Laurel want to go ahead with it, if you're available, and I'm not trying to rope you into this, Laurel. We have a wedding that we're DJing that we have to do things for next week, but I will be on the week after, so we are good. But yes, I do kind of need to see the plow.
Yeah.
Mr. Plow. That's my name. That name again is Mr. Plow. Remember Simpsons?
Yes.
The plow for women, I guess.
Whoa.
Search the plow.
Yeah, I guess a good idea. I got mesmerized by the dildos. The plow.
Oh, wait.
Those are anal spreaders, man. Whoa.
Speculums.
Holy fuck, man.
You just stumbled into something new.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know.
$450. That's as much as the fucking shit that we just reviewed was. $450 for a whole swing?
Yeah.
Fuck me.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Hold on, but this is $795.
Why do people need an anal spreader?
Doggy style sex machine.
Look at her face. She's like, what?
Holy fuck, man.
What are you doing?
Not prepared.
I was not prepared.
So sorry.
Yep. And if you want the vacuum lock fuck machine adapter, it'll be $60. So you're looking at about an $860 purchase plus shipping and handling. Orders over $120, you get free shipping. And this is extreme restraints. They don't pay us, but if you want to get that, boom, you got it.
Satisfaction guaranteed, 30-day.
Satisfaction guaranteed. That's all that matters. Those once they say that, I need to get it. I need to get it.
Oh my God. When the brown plate, the discreetly delivered boxes show up on the front porch, I know what it is. You're doing research again.
I'm researching fuck machines, and I'm doing a piece on it. So I need to get them all.
We all need a side job.
Yeah. So, guys, thank you for not only people in the audience, thank you for coming, and thank you for checking out our new format, and Sam and I, and we really appreciate the support. Yes. Laurel, you've been amazing. See, I told you, Sam.
Thank you so much. I know. You're amazing.
No, thank you guys for having me. I thoroughly enjoyed this.
Absolutely.
I'm really happy to have met you, and honestly, I can't wait to get to know you better. So
absolutely,
she's my podcast partner. She's also my partner in Medicare. We work together. We do this together. So she's a very good friend of mine, and you'll see a lot more of her.
Perfect. Look forward.
And Dave, wait till you meet Dave.
Oh, my husband. He's a fucking.
We love Dave. We love Dave. Yeah, he's a lovely gentleman.
He's one of my favorite people. He actually is my favorite person.
He's awesome. He's
in
awesome.
The whole world.
We love him to death. They do a podcast called "How's Your Day Out" every Wednesday.
Yeah, they are.
And they're adorable together. Yeah, they're adorable. You got to check that out next Wednesday. When are you guys back?
I don't know. Whatever.
Okay.
We decide.
Whenever that happens.
We're taking most of the summer off. We'll be on for a couple of times. We might be doing a couple of real estate episodes, like who's moving in. But we'll be back on How Was Your Day full time, in the fall.
And that's Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Central.
Yes.
Okay. And Laurel, one more time, where they can find you?
So it's Epiphany, Kaye, at epiphanyk.com. And that is who I work for. She is amazing. She's been doing trauma coaching for over almost 30 years now. So it's Epiphany. And it's really her name, EIPHANYKAYE.com.
Epiphany KAYE.com. And then however you reach out, just put, that you saw her through Thought Brokers or the podcast, and I'm sure she'll get.
What happens is that if you schedule, you can schedule a free call if you're interested in any of our coaching programs, what it is to make sure that you're a right fit for our program, because it is a very delicate balance of people that we do have. I wish it were a free program, but it is not.
That's how you know it works. That's how you know it's good, because actual people need to help you that actually need to live.
Right.
So, yeah.
So, I mean, when I went through it, I made $4,000 a month. My mortgage was $4,000 a month, and I just put it on 3 different credit cards because I couldn't put a price on my mental health, and I could always make more money.
Yeah.
Right. Figure that out later, but right now, trauma coaching needs to happen for those who need it.
Yes.
So thank you all for coming. Thanks, Laurel. Thanks, partner.
Yes, it's been a great night. We will see you. I will see you in 2 weeks. AC, if you want to do a show next week, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, I got this on my.
I
can
don't
do that.
keep this at all.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about dark tourism next week. You'll probably be stuck with my mug, but yeah, we'll do it.
All right.
All right.
We will see you next time. Bye.
Everybody-
Yo, turn the microphone up. Yeah, yo, check this out. SamIam and A.C. in your sight. That's what I'm talking about. We on the line tonight. Yeah. It must be Friday night, huh? Check it, right? Thought Brokers on the air. It gotta be Friday night. You know A.C. and SamIam. Every take come tight. They come correct with the true crime. Cut through the hype. If you ain't tapped in yet, you behind on sight. They got the news, got the facts. Every angle they glean. Thought Brokers breaking down true crime coats in between. Story veterans, seasoned voices sitting the scene. They've been cooking up these cases for a hot minute clean. If there was trophies for getting lit and still going live, they sweep the whole award show. Every medal, all 5. Buzz brain, sharp tape, still the logic survive. They keep it honest, keep it raw, keep the madness alive. And it's not only news, it's the jokes that they choose. Words are hard. 1-star strip clubs, they review the rules. Very passionate rundowns on them toys you can use. Amazon confessionals, pick a product and mute. Alex murder, OJ headlines, Gypsy Rose in the file, twin flame scammers, Menendez on the case profile. People kidnapped, hoodwinked with a digital smile, scammed and straight up whack. It's in the docket on trial. They don't matter, the fatter that the storyline stack, the better payoff in the end when they're running it back. They break it down frame by frame, every detail intact. Never slack, never clock out, they stay on the attack. Let's act. SamIam and A.C. SamIam and A.C. That perspective is key. Perfect duo to make you look and actually see all the bad in the world, all the rot underneath. From the killers to the monsters living right down the street. They ain't stuck on pretty phrases, they don't dance round facts. Ain't too many extra fillers when they talk on the acts. They just lay it how it is, how these villains react. Bang, bang, case closed, bodies vanish on track. What about coats? They got that every chapter and song. From the quiet gated suburbs to the